So we're being asked to plot the function f of x is equal to 2x cubed negative 17x squared plus 38x negative 15. And we've been told that 3 negative x is a factor. So what we can do is draw an area model. So we know that it's going to be a cubic, so there's going to be 3 rows, and we've got this term here, this factor, so we can put x and then negative 3. So now, to fill in our boxes here, we know that our first term is going to be 2x cubed. So we can write that. So now we need to think, x times what is going to be 2x cubed? Well, obviously that's just going to be 2x squared. So 2x squared can go on the top. Then we can fill out this box here. So 2x squared times negative 3, that's going to be negative 6x squared. But in our equation, we have negative 17x squared. So what do we need to add or subtract from negative 6x squared to get to negative 17x squared? Obviously, we can just subtract 11. So negative 11x squared, because when you add them together, you're going to get negative 17x squared. So then on the top, x times what is going to give negative 11x squared? Obviously, that's going to be negative 11x. So negative 11x. Then we can do negative 11x times negative 3. That's just going to give positive 33x. So 33x. But we can see that we've got positive 38x here. So what do we need to add to this to get to 38? We need to add 5x. So we can put 5x there. Now, x times what is going to give 5x? Obviously 5, and now we can fill out this last one. So 5 times negative 3 is going to be negative 15, and we can see all of these factors, if you add these all up, it's going to give this equation. So now that we can write that this equation, so f of x is going to be equal to, if we put our factor down first, so x negative 3, and then this here is also going to be another factor of it. So if we multiply these two together, we're going to get everything inside. Hence why it's an area model. So x negative 3 multiplied by 2x squared, take away 11x plus 5 is going to give this equation. So now we have a linear term here and a quadratic term here. So if we factorize this again, then we're going to get 3 terms that when multiplied together give this here. And when we do that, then we can plot it. So if we put it into our calculator, or you can solve this any way you want, but I'm going to do the calculator. So we're going to get x is equal to 5, and we're going to get x is equal to 1 over 2. So putting this back into a linear term, we can say that x negative 5 is going to equal to 0, because remember, that's what you're doing when you're solving quadratics. You're finding the roots. So if you take 5 away from both sides, it's going to equal 0. And then for the other one, you're going to multiply by 2. So then 2x is going to be equal to 1. Then you're going to take 1 from both sides. So you're going to get 2x negative 1 is going to equal 0. So now we can say that f of x is going to be equal to this first term. So x negative 3 multiplied by x negative 5 multiplied by 2x negative 1. So this is the fully factorized form. So if I just make a note. So now if we was to plot this, we're going to need to know the roots and the y-intercept. So if we just draw an axis quickly, we're going to know that our roots, we're going to set any of these equal to 0, then solve. So x negative 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is going to be 3. So roots, there's going to be x equals 3. If x negative 5 is equal to 0, then adding 5 to both sides, x is equal to 5. So x is equal to 5. And then if we set this to 0, we're just going to get x is equal to a half. So now we can put our roots onto our axis. So we know that it's going to cross at a half. So 1 over 2 is going to cross at 3, and it's going to cross at 5. So now we need to find our y-intercept, and we can do that by just multiplying these constants together. So -3 multiplied by -5, that's going to give positive 15, sorry. And then multiplied by -1, that's going to give -15. So let's mark this somewhere down here. -15. We also know that if we multiply all of our x terms together, then we're going to get a positive value for x. The coefficient is going to be positive. So we can also write x coefficient is going to be positive. So this means that it's going to be a general shape like that, like an N shape. So we know that it's going to pass through the y-axis at -15. Then it's going to go through the point x is equal to 1/2. It's going to go through x is equal to 3, and it's going to go through x is equal to 5. And we know that it's going to be like this shape, so we can draw it to be something like this.